Business.
Mayor, at 6:30, may I begin?
Yes, please.
We're now recording. I have a few preliminary matters. This is Zoe Burgess, your city clerk. The meeting of the November 8th, 2021 regular city council meeting is reconvened today, November 22nd, and is being held with the quorum of City of Westlake Council physically in attendance at the Westlake Council Chambers, 4005 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. Mayor Roger Manning, Vice Mayor John Paul O'Connor, Councilwoman Kara Crump, and Councilwoman Katrina Long Robinson are present. City Manager Kenneth Castle, Interim City Attorney Donald Judy, and City Clerk Zoe Burgess are present and physically in attendance. Planning and Zoning Director Nosa Zacharias is physically in attendance, and Engineering Director Suzanne Dombrowski is attending via communications media. Public comments may be accepted prior to the meeting utilizing the electronic comment card available on the city's website. Public comments are also permitted at the appropriate time during the meeting. The mayor will call for such during public comment, and you may participate at this time, utilizing the system's virtual hand feature and waiting to be acknowledged if you wish to comment. Please note this meeting is being recorded, both voice and video, and to remember your mic may be live. I will mute any microphones that carry any feedback or interruptions. If you are a caller that has been muted, you may unmute yourself by pressing *6. Any person in the virtual meeting causing a disruption or being inappropriate will be removed from the meeting. If I may also remind those physically in attendance, please utilize microphones so that the virtual audience and a clear recording of the meeting is produced. Thank you, Mayor Manning.
Yes, good evening. Call to order the regular city council meeting of November 8th, which we're going to reconvene to this evening, November 22nd at 6:32 p.m. We have a roll call, City Clerk.
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Present.
Councilwoman Crump.
Here.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Present.
Mayor Manning.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, since the last meeting that we tried to get through, we do have a addition to the agenda, a supplemental that we will need to make a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the supplemental agenda for tonight's council meeting,
Second the motion. And added to tonight's agenda.
as well as a motion to approve tonight's regular council meeting agenda.
Correct. Thank you.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crump. Roll call. Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes,
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crump.
Yes.
Motion carries.
very good, thank you. Okay, then we do have public comment. Zoe, do we have anyone that has public comment?
We did.
This agenda.
We have not received any public comment cards. However, we'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you're in the virtual audience and you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. If you've been muted and you're on a telephone, please press *6. Mayor, I see no comments.
Very good, thank you. So we're going to move on to, at this point, the supplemental agenda, which will be a public hearing on Resolution 2021-35, readoption of final millage rate for the fiscal year 2022.
I remind Mr. Mayor, resolution by title only, resolution of City Council of the City of Westlake, Florida, readopting in compliance with Section 200.065, subparagraph 13, Florida statutes, the final ad valorem millage rate to be levied for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2021, and ending September 30th, 2022, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Thank you. Do we have an explanation as to why this is back on?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. In the agenda cover sheet is back in fiscal year 2022 budget cycle, Palm Beach County property appraiser increased the total taxable amount for the values of the city within Westlake. This increase was not reflected in the FY22 budget adopted in September, resulting in the property tax revenue being lower than the budget, than what the city will actually receive in fiscal year 2022. Florida Department of Revenue requires that the city re-advertise the notice of tax increase budget summary or another budget hearing to readopt the FY22 millage rate and budget. The millage rate of 5.125 has not changed from the original adopted in September. It's what they come out with a preliminary estimate, then they come out with a mid estimate, then they come out with a final, then they come back with a final. We used one of the numbers in the middle. They came back out and revised the taxable value, which increased, and it was more than 5% because of the growth factor that we're experiencing here. So therefore, DOE picked up on it, and Department of Revenue, and said, oops, you guys are over the 5%. When we look at your numbers, you need to readopt. So we got a letter about a week and a half ago to do this.
Okay, let's open up for discussion.
Could you ask for public hearing, Mayor,
Yes,
please?
said this is open to the public.
Yes, sir. But declare an
Public
open
comment.
public hearing and see if there's anything.
This is open to the public, and do we have any comment from the public on this matter?
Mayor, we received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device or press *6. Mayor, I see no comments.
Thank you. Okay, for council now.
Just to clarify, so I understand it better. They come out with a middle and an end, and normally it wouldn't be an issue, but because our growth factor is so
Yes,
fast, it's over a 5% threshold and we have to readopt.
that is correct.
But the millage rate is staying exactly.
The
what it
millage
is.
rate is the same. Everybody's assessments would be, tax rate is the same for what they would be paying. What it does do is because the increase in taxable value, it will generate an additional, I believe it's $135,000 of revenue on the revenue side.
Understood. Do you have any other discussion from the council? So none. Does anyone want to make a motion?
A motion to adopt resolution 2021-35.
Motion made to adopt Resolution 2021-35 by Councilwoman Crump, seconded by Councilwoman Long Robinson. Mayor Manning,
Approve.
Councilwoman Long Robinson,
yes,
Councilwoman Crump,
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes,
Motion carries.
Our second item is resolution 2021-36, readoption of final budget for the fiscal year 2022.
Resolution by title only, a resolution of City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, readopting in compliance with Section 200.065, subparagraph 13, Florida statutes, the final budget for the City of Westlake, Florida, making an appropriation for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2021, and ending September 30th, 2022, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Thank you. This is open for public comment.
We received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. If you've been muted, please press *6 to speak. Mayor, we have no comments.
Ken, would you like to just go over this this one also?
Yeah, it's,
I should have done that first, actually.
no, it's fine. Basically, this is readopting the budget, and what happened with the increase that we just approved. It's net of discounts. It's going to increase our revenue stream by $121,644, which offsets the amount that we were looking at for developer contribution that would have filled that slot. So with the additional revenue, decreases the amount we'll need for developer contribution.
Okay, thank you. After that explanation, I'll leave it back to the public again if there's any other public comment on this.
If you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand. To unmute your device, press *6. Please state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. Mayor, I see no comments.
Thank you. From the council.
I understand the point.
There's no comment. Let's, someone make a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to move forward with the adoption of resolution 2021-36.
Second,
Motion to adopt resolution 2021-36 by Councilwoman Long Robinson, seconded by Vice Mayor O'Connor. Roll call. Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. I'm showing, that takes care of our supplemental issues. Let's move on. We'll go back to where we left off. And we'll start with the, public hearing, quasi judicial. And start with, item A.
We have to approve the consent agenda still?
We approved that in the last meeting.
Which one?
Oh, okay.
Just before we had to stop. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is SPM 2021-06. Our city attorney.
Pam. Good evening. Do you want me to read?
Yes, read it in,
Okay,
please, for
sure.
the record.
SPM 2021-06, application of Minto PBLH LLC for a site plan modification to upgrade an approximately 107,290 square foot self-service storage facility and a 0.71 acres outdoor area for storage of boats and recreational vehicles. The application includes adding 108 square feet of public restrooms on the southeast corner of Building 5, removing 6 parking spaces to accommodate a loading area, removing decorative pavers on Building 1, and revising sidewalks and walkways. The subject application is located in Westlake Landings Commercial Plaza on Pod H, Parcel E at 4701 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road, Westlake, Florida.
We need to swear in everybody. We need to swear in
Yeah.
everybody.
Nelson?
We have to swear in.
Yep.
We need to swear in everybody. to speak.
Don? Anyone else going to be speaking? Okay,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the information you are about to present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth?
yes,
I do.
Thank you.
got you, Tara. Nelson, you
Yes.
have the floor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. For the record, Nilsa Zacarias, Planning and Zoning Director for the City of Westlake. I have a PowerPoint. The application that you have in front of you is to amend the previously approved self-storage located on Pad 8. The previously approved self-storage has 107,290 square feet self-storage facility and 0.71 outdoor area for storage of boats and recreational vehicles. As we all know, it's located in Parcel E, Pad H. As you recall, this application was in front of council on June 14, 2021. So please let me know if you can see in your screen.
Yes.
You
See, it's real tiny though,
very tiny?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but that's all right. I can turn around.
That's fine. So the previously approved application on June 14, 2021 included the principal building. It's a 3-story limited access storage, and also another 6 buildings, 1-story multi-access storage, and 0.71 acres outdoor area for storage of boats and recreational vehicles. So what is about this site plan modification? Number one, the applicant is adding 108 square feet public restrooms on the southeast corner of Building 5, as shown on the site plan and also showing here on this rendering. Number two, the applicant is also removing 6 parking spaces to accommodate a loading area in front of Building 7. So this slide shows a previously approved site plan without the loading area. You can see all the parking spaces, and then also shows the proposed site plan with the loading area. So the total parking spaces is in compliance with code. It requires 9 spaces, and the applicant is providing 12 spaces. So we always look at if the applicant is proposing to remove parking, then it still needs to be in compliance with our code. Number 3, another site plan modification. The applicant is proposing to remove decorative pavers on the loading zone of Building 1 and sidewalks. Again, you can see with the decorative pavers and without. So those are the changes. Once we review for compliance with zoning, we look at again closely setbacks, lot coverage, building height, all of the main criteria. And obviously, in this case, parking was reviewed because the applicant was proposing to remove 6 parking spaces. This application does not include modifications to the architectural elevations. These are the same that was approved previously. As shown here, also no changes on the elevation. So Planning and Zoning and Engineering Department are recommending approval of this subject application. I am not sure if the applicant has a presentation. Few words. Good.
Nielsen and I have a competition going who can say less words tonight. For the record, Donaldson here tonight on behalf of the applicant. Nielsen gave a full presentation. I have a presentation, but in the interest of time, these are the types of things that occur when you go from site plan to final construction documents, just trying to make the loading area function better. And then we've added a restroom that we think would be beneficial to the overall facility. So as we might have boaters who will drop off their boats, and at least there's a restroom where you don't have to go inside a building that's readily accessible. And we feel that that will be an asset to the entire facility. So we're excited to move forward. More than happy to answer any questions. Landscaping remains the same. Architecture remains the same. These are just minor tweaks that occur from basic site planning to final engineering and construction documents.
So the question is something I should have asked way back, I guess, in June. Is there going to be any place to actually rinse your boat off there if you have it? If you're going to store it there?
I believe that there will be some opportunities to do that. I'm not specific on the details, but I believe that there will be. There is an area where it's just crushed stone, which is certainly would lend itself very well for rinsing off. So certainly potable water will be provided to those areas. We're hoping that most people rinse their boats if they're at the dock or wherever they're at, but there are some facilities that would enable that type of activity to occur on a limited basis.
And the decorative pavers, I'm just assuming that they
it's not a cost issue. It's really the fact that it's across the loading zone and it's just rolling back and forth with carts. We thought would be problematic.
Yeah.
So.
Does anyone else have any questions? or Nelson?
No, I just, want to make a comment. It's refreshing. I know at one point, we talked about having an accountability checklist. And so to have that in the document where we can see that staff was able to work together across entities is really refreshing. And I wholeheartedly appreciate that.
Thank you. And this is public hearing, so it's open to the public. Do we have any comments, City Clerk?
I received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you're in the virtual audience and wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. If you've been muted, please press *6. We have a public comment from Ms. Alicia Torres. Ms. Torres, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill. I just was wondering if the bathrooms are open to the outside, if you'll need a fob to get into those.
For the record, Donaldson Hearing, I don't know the exact answer to that, but I'm assuming that you would have to be have access to the storage areas outside and have your boat or your RV or your vehicle there in order to utilize those facilities. So because they will be air conditioned and secured. So it would be a key, a card, or a fob is highly likely.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional comments in the virtual audience? If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. If you've been muted, please press *6. Mayor, I see no comments.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Being that staff recommends approval, I agree. I'll make the motion to approve SPM 2021-06.
I'll second.
Motion to approve SPM 2021-06 by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Long Robinson. Roll call, Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes,
Mayor Manning.
Yes,
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you.
we'll move on to item B.
Thank you, Ms. Ryan.
Please switch attorneys.
Thank you, Pamela.
This is MPA 2021-02 application of Minto PD LH LLC for a master site plan amendment.
All those individuals going to testify during the course of this particular application, please raise your right hand, be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please proceed.
Excuse me.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, Nilsa Zacharias, Planning and Zoning Director for the City of Westlake. This is an amendment to Part H that was previously approved by this council. As we all know, the location of Part H has a 50.826 acres. It's a commercial plaza. The Part H was approved by this council on June 14, 2021, and includes a number of parcels, A2, A1, B1, B2, G, F, E. Those were the parcels that were approved in June 14, 2021. Just to refresh our memories, the properties will be developed under a common ownership and unity of control and managed by Property Owners Association, POA. So what are the changes that the applicant is proposing? This is the slide that is showing exactly the changes. So the applicant is requesting the right to subdivide the property by meets and bounds in accordance with city regulations. So in the main The previously approved has 9 parcels. Now, this proposed in front of council is 7 parcels. So as shown on the slide, there is divided B, used to be B1, B2, now it's only 1 parcel, B. And also now we have C. So those are the main changes with regard to this proposed site plan amendment. The access to the parcels are the same. There are 3 points of vehicular access and 2 points from Persimmon Boulevard west from north and 1 from Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. And also there are 2 pedestrian and bicycle entrances from Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. So the entrances to the parcel have no change. This amendment was reviewed by fire safety, also was reviewed in terms of landscaping, drainage, and traffic. Also, we are looking very close the aesthetics of the proposed site plan amendment. And Planning and Zoning and Engineering Department are recommending approval of this subject application.
For the record, Donaldson here tonight on behalf of the applicant. I think I probably can be pretty brief on this one as well. And in addition to the few modifications that Nielsen pointed out, there was a slight change in the square footages of the various restaurant versus retail versus mixed use between parcels B and parcel C. And then we trued up the parcel F to include the 14.13 acres of outdoor entertainment, which is the adrenaline petition that you'll be seeing here shortly tonight. So what happens, just to give council a perspective, the developer of that particular site is Conover South for parcel B and parcel C. And so we develop a great site plan, and then they're out there trying to work and find out, what are the best tenants to fill that space. And what happens is that often that there's minor changes in the square footages. We had a Wendy's at one point, and now you'll see it's a Starbucks. So their square footage is slightly different. And so we're just truing everything up to be exact to match the site plans that you'll be seeing in just a few minutes. Also, just to clarify for the record, all of parcel H is platted as a single plat and subdivided by meets and bounds. The parcels that you see are the parcels that we've defined today. Under the city code, the developer can come back and also subdivide individual buildings by meets and bounds, provided that they're all tied together by a unity of control. So the meets and bounds becomes invisible in reality because it's tied together by meets and bounds. But I did want to make that clear, because often for finance purposes, you like to finance individual buildings separately. And with that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you for the explanation. We're open to public hearing on this, so are there any questions from the public?
Mayor, I received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. If you've been muted, please press *6. Mayor, I see no comments.
Thank you. Do you have any questions or comments from council? Seems pretty simple.
Looking forward to the presentation.
Yeah. We have a motion.
Motions.
Adopt MPA 2021-02.
Second.
Motion to adopt MPA 2021-02 by Councilwoman Crump, seconded by Vice Mayor O'Connor. Roll call. Vice Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Mayor Manning,
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Crump.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Move on to SPR 2021-06.
All those individuals going to testify during the course of the application consideration, Please stand, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please proceed.
I do. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. The application that is in front of you is a Westlake Landing Parcel B, which is part of the Part H. This application Parcel B has two buildings, the north building and the south building. So the north building is a 9,450 square feet and is proposing 4 retail stores and 1 restaurant. The south building has 2 retail stores and 1 fast food restaurant with a drive-through. It's located as part of Part H. The total gross site area is 3.5 acres. As I mentioned before, this is part of Part H, which is a POA individual ownership. Just minutes ago, this was in front of you, Westlake Landing, the proposed site plan amendment. So this specific site plan review is related with a plan amendment that was just approved by council. So the previous site plan showing in this slide was approved June 14, 2021, and now minutes ago, it was approved a new master site plan. So specifics with regard to this Parcel B. As I mentioned before, is proposing 4 retail bays and 1 restaurant with outside seating area. That's the north building for a total of 9,450 square feet. And the south building, as shown on the slide, is 2 retail and a fast food restaurant with drive-through for a total of 7,065 square feet. This application was reviewed and we worked with the applicant to, with regard to the aesthetics of both buildings. This is the proposed architectural elevation. This is the south building proposed elevation. Parcel B is proposing 2 vehicular points of access. As shown on this slide, is from the north and also from the south entering the site. And also is proposing 1 pedestrian and bicycle access from Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. We strongly believe that it's very important to connect to Seminole Pratt Whitney Road when you are using the multimodal pathway that you can walk, you can bike through and access these shops and restaurants. So this is very important, connectivity. Let's talk about parking. The total number of required parking for this Parcel B is 115 spaces. The applicant is only providing 108 spaces at the subject site, and 7 spaces are located on the adjacent Parcel C. So throughout the review of these applications, city staff work very closely with the applicant with regard to this, to parking. So the applicant is actually doing shared parking. That's what they are proposing. And in order to account for the total parking, they are, the 7 parking spaces that are missing, they are being supplied by Parcel C. And in order to do that, then there is a parking statement and a declaration of unity of control for parking. So that's a document that is it will make sure that if this parcel gets sold in the future, so this unity of control for parking will be part of the land, will be part of this application of its approval. So with 7 parking spaces providing parcel C for the benefit of parcel B, this represents only 6% of the parcel B required parking. So our city code says that if a parcel needs to, needs shared parking, they cannot supplement that for more than 20%. So basically, you cannot apply for a site plan review if you are missing more than 20% of parking. So, and in this case, what they are missing is only 6% of parking, and it's being provided by the parcel C. So this is part of the review process, and it's in compliance with the city code. So again, this is the table that that shows if it is in compliance or not, and if there are certain things. In terms of parking, as you see there, is total provided 108, additional 7 parking spaces provided in parcel C. So, and it's a part of the code that that provides for shared parking. So it was also reviewed for landscaping. It was reviewed for drainage, fire safety, traffic. So final remarks. Just to make sure, this application does not include signage. Signage will come later on as a master sign plan. So the Planning and Zoning and Engineering Department is recommending one condition of approval is that number 1, the declaration of unity of control for parking must be executed and recorded prior to building permit being issued by the city of Westlake. So we felt strongly about this. We communicated and dialogue with the applicant, and they have agreed to this condition of approval.
Thank you.
Let's move it.
Just tap it to advance.
You're now the presenter.
There we go.
You should be able to hit the space bar, Mr. Herring.
Spacebar?
Yes.
There we go. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. For the record, Donaldson Hearing here tonight on behalf of the applicant. I do have the applicant from Conover South here, Mr. Bob Bedard, and he certainly be happy to answer any questions you have specific to leasing and all the great things that we're proposing. Nielsen provided the location, so these are 2 of the parcels within Parcel H, Parcels B and Parcel C, as she discussed. As we pointed out, there's a lot of connectivity, and certainly there's access to both of these parcels, parcels B and C, from the multimodal path. So we made sure that there was a large connection. The parcels, both for Parcel B and for Parcel C we'll hear in a minute, they have designated golf cart parking spaces, which is something that we have moved toward. We also have level 2 EV electrical charging stations for the benefit of the customers and employees. And we've got outdoor seating and lush tropical landscaping. So talking first about Parcel B, as Nielsen pointed out, Both buildings have a mixture of mixed use / retail. So it's mixed use. It's not 100% retail. You could have a medical office. You could have any mixture of uses in there. And then the large restaurant, which we have, which is 4,000 square feet, we've identified separately. On the south side of the north building, we actually have 400 square feet of outdoor seating. We know that people, certainly after COVID, are looking for outdoor seating. And in the south building, we have additional mixed-use retail along with a quick serve restaurant with drive-through. So that's attached to the building. Site plan's been very nicely organized so that you have access easily from not only this parcel, but to the adjacent parcels. The architecture has been themed and certainly coordinated with Minto. You'll see some of the same flavors and colors as even the self-storage facility where we're looking for diversity. We also want to make it feel like this parcel has some commonality to it, certainly between the landscape and some of the architecture. This is the architecture of the north building, so it's a very, very clean, a lot of glass and glazing, architectural metal canvas or architectural metal cantilevered awnings, which give it a very, very nice aesthetic feel. This is the south building, complementary, but you certainly can see in looking at the front elevation the extent of glazing in the front. So it's broken up very, very nicely, but very, very transparent so that you can see in a variety of architectural flavors, some horizontal textures, some vertical textures, nice use of colors, and then also some outdoor seating area as it's shown. And I'll withhold my presentation on parcel C until we get to that particular item. But this is a great project. We're looking forward to moving forward with it. I'm pretty sure we're 100% leased or darn close to 100% leased, which is a really good thing because if we can make it work here, maybe there's other places that retail can occur in the city. I certainly see our 7-Eleven, the most beautiful 7-Eleven in all of the state of Florida. Pretty busy place over there. So it's nice to see the activity. But with that, I'll conclude my presentation for parcel B. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Excuse me, sir. Do you agree to the condition?
Yes, sir. We are in agreement with the condition concerning the unity of control.
Thank you.
Okay, we're open to the public. We have any public comment, questions?
Mayor, I received a comment card from Mr. Robert Bedard.
Sure.
Please state your name and address, sir.
Yes, Bob Bedard, Conover South Development Company, 431 Fairway Drive, Deerfield Beach, Florida. We will be 100% leased by the time we open. We'll be starting construction in late spring. Hope to be open by the end of the year, perhaps early 2023. On the north building, we have a full-service restaurant called, give me a second here, Sauced Barbecue and Whiskey Shack. And it's the owners of that are the Ralph Lewis family. The Lewis family has owned and operated Okeechobee Steakhouse in West Palm Beach for 75 years. So it's a great operator, great family operation, a local operation. We're really excited about that. We also have a signed lease with Verizon Wireless and Go Green Dry Cleaners. And we're in lease negotiations with a fitness studio. And then on the south building, we have a signed lease with Heartland Dental. And we've got lease negotiations going on with the burger concept for the drive-through restaurant with the sit-down area out front and with a smoothie operation in the middle between the two. So we're super excited about the prospects of developing here, and the leasing response has been super amazing. Any questions? I'm available.
Everyone here is super excited to get this project rolling, and the sooner you can get it up and running, the better, obviously. I don't have any questions. Let's open to public comment. Let's see if there's any other comment and questions.
Mr. Castoya? Please state your name and address.
Yes, good evening. Frank Sawyer, resident, 15871 Model Law Court. I commend you for having outdoor dining. The one question I did have is there any vehicular protection for the customer sitting on tables in terms of bollards or something that will mean it's right by the curbside on the street?
For the record, Donaldson hearing, there will be protection. The outdoor seating areas, technically by your code, need to be clearly defined with planters and other things that provide that type of security. And excellent question, because today, that's, unfortunately, it's reality.
Anyone else?
Mayor, I have no additional comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hands. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. If you've been a caller that's been muted, please press *6, state your name and address. Mayor, I have no comments.
From the council?
Excuse me, while I'm looking at this plan, do we have placed the electrical vehicle chargers yet?
You're looking at the plan for parcel C, but the one for parcel B, we have 4 chargers on parcel B, and they're set up so that they can serve both an ADA space and a regular space. On parcel C, which we'll come to, we only have we have a dual charger at the Starbucks, which I'll talk about when we get there, as opposed to the others, which are more transient in nature. But on parcel B, we have a total of 4 chargers. I don't know how to go backwards. So if Zoe can go backwards, we can do that.
So there will be a dual charger at C. That's not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, there will be. That's just going forward. So I don't know how to go backwards. There she goes.
Just curious where it's going.
Right. So we have chargers that are located up by the building to serve the ADA spaces, which that you have to do it by law, provide for both. And then we have some chargers out along by the Rule Parkway for those who wish to charge and stay at a longer length of time.
And then I'm going to ask, which one of these are the golf cart parking spots?
There are 6. Well, we have a total of 9 golf cart parking stalls here. So there's 3 that are up on the very north end. I think we have a couple cars parking in there. That right above where it says parcel B. That we have 3 golf cart spaces up there. I think we show a couple of golf carts we show 2, and then we have a total of another 3 in the middle where you see the golf carts, and then some against the overall boundary. So we've tried to distribute them, but to put them in reasonably convenient locations.
Fantastic, thank you.
And those were for you, JP.
I know they were.
Along with that big wide sidewalk
Yep.
leading into the site.
Right in there.
Yes, sir.
Got them tuned in already.
They're for all of Westlake, trust me. Fantastic.
Anyone else from the council? You have anything else?
No.
That's it for the comment. We have a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt
SPR
2021-06.
I'll second the motion.
Motion to adopt SPR 2021-06 by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crump. Roll call. Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crump.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we'll move on to SPR 2021-07.
All those individuals going to testify during the course of this application, please stand, be sworn, do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Please proceed.
Just item D, partial C.
Thank you, Sonny.
You're not the presenter.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. The application in front of you is parcel C, part of Part H. The applicant is requesting a site plan approval for 2,525 square feet coffee shop with a drive-through, 2,200 square feet of fast food restaurant with drive-through, and 2,040 square feet fast food restaurant with drive-through, totaling 6,765 square feet, located in parcel C, 3.67 acres. This slide is showing the location of parcel C, part of part H, which is the POA. Again, tonight, the council had approved the amendment of the overall master style plan that for part H. And this is just showing what was approved in June and what was proposed and approved tonight. Specifically, this parcel C is proposing a Starbucks with drive-through, KFC, and Taco Bell. And these are the location of those three buildings. Again, every building that is proposed, we work with the applicant and we look very closely at the aesthetics. It's being very carefully considered. These are views from the proposed buildings: Starbucks, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell. And the overall view from Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. It's really thrilling to see how our city is starting to fill up. So pretty amazing. There will be 3 points of vehicular access to parcel C. Let's talk about parking. As the total number of parking required for parcel C is 81 spaces. The applicant is providing 95 parking spaces. So there is extra 7 parking spaces. As we just made a presentation with regard to parcel B, those extra 7 spaces are part of the shared parking for parcel B. So, and again, to make everything sure that it runs with the land, the applicant provided a declaration of unity of control for parking and a parking statement. So, and is in compliance with our Chapter A parking regulations, shared parking. Once we review all the buildings and the proposed buildings, we review again for setbacks, building height, and specifically in this case, parking was one of the reviews, and they have extra parking, and those extra parking spaces are being shared with parcel with the parcel to the north. It was a review for landscaping, drainage, fire safety, traffic, and staff is proposing a recommendation of approval, which is the declaration of unity of control for parking must be executed and recorded prior to the building permit being issued by the city of Westlake. This is important because right now, yes, the two parcels are owned by the same owner. In the future, one parcel can be sold, and the person who buys this specific parcel must understand that 7 of those spaces really are shared with the parcel to the north. So these are legal documents that must travel with the land. So, and we have talked with the applicant with regard to this, and they agree with this condition of approval.
Excuse me, Mayor, could I get a point of clarification? The prior application representing parcel B required the declaration of unity for parking.
Yes.
That would be the same declaration.
Yes.
You're not recommending a separate
No.
parcel C.
It's the same, the
Okay.
same declaration.
Same declaration. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And while Zoe's pulling up my PowerPoint for the record, Donaldson Hearing here tonight on behalf of the applicant. Again, Mr. Bob Bedard with Conover South is here. While Zoe pulls up there, she had perfect timing. And I'll just check. She's getting me right to the right place too. Perfect. As Nielsa pointed out, the request on parcel C includes 3 quick serve restaurants, a Starbucks, a KFC, and a Taco Bell. We have outdoor seating, about 500 square feet for the Starbucks, and we also have an additional 400 square feet, 360 square feet for the Taco Bell. Currently, there is not any outdoor seating for the KFC. We do have an electric charger. It's a single electric charger that provides electric charging to an ADA space and a standard space for a total of 2 charging positions. Those are level 2 chargers, so they charge pretty well. And certainly in Starbucks, we do get a lot of people who come and they'll be more techno and want to sit down and utilize it as an office space to do their virtual things online and various socialization events. So we think that the charging is appropriate in that location. As pointed out, Nielsa walked you through the architecture. All 3 of these buildings have been designed to respect some of the corporate branding of the individual, but tied together with the flavors and the materials that we have in Westlake. So here we have the gray and some of the warmer tones with the simulated wood siding. This is the Starbucks. Again, the outdoor seating, you can see the KFC. Here again, we maintain the gray, but continue to be able to utilize the some corporate branding colors in a limited amount on the buildings, which you see here. And then the same with the Taco Bell. Still, again, pulling together the gray, so you can see how this tied together with parcel B and the buildings we have there, but then allowing for some individualization by utilizing the corporate colors. And I think that we've been able to do that pretty well. So this is the Taco Bell. And so I really don't have too much more to say. Nielsa did a great job. Just for the record, for clarity, there's actually 14 extra spaces on this parcel. 7 of those 14 spaces are being utilized by parcel B. So in the context of this particular application, we're utilizing the term sharing, but it's not sharing in the traditional sense contemplated by the code. Typically, because you will see it come in the future, you'll have sharing of complementary uses. In other words, you might have a office use that's open during the day and a restaurant that's open at night, and they share parking. So it's a reduced amount. In this particular case, it's more akin to off-site parking because it's just off-site. We're still providing the spaces. So we provided extra parcel spaces on one site to provide for the need on an adjacent site. Be no different than an out parcel within Publix utilizing a couple of the extra spaces within the Publix parking lot. So just to be clear on that, the way that we get there is through the provision of your code that talks about shared parking, but in reality, we're providing extra parking on this particular site. We're really excited. We think that these are great users. They'll stimulate additional development opportunities for the retail and non-residential uses here and meet the needs of our growing community. So we're extremely excited and we'd request your approval tonight. We do have 9 golf cart spaces, 3 for each building. So just to make sure, and of course, we can always create more if they're needed.
Thank you, Mr. Herring. Do we have any public comment?
Mr. Castoya?
Franco Sawyer, 15871, Meadowlark Court. It's good to see this coming online. I commend your work. Just had a question in general. is there any ground monument signs on the main boulevard on Seminole Pratt Whitney, particular to each one of these out parcels? Or is it a united one?
Glad to answer that question. So on Seminole Pratt Whitney, the only signage will be the typical monument signs that we have, the entry gates with the potems. And so the sign will say Westlake Landing or Shops at Westlake Landing. And then the major tenants can have their name up to the maximum allowed by the code on the totem. So there are no monument signs specifically on Seminole Pratt Whitney. As you come into Pod H or into Westlake Landings as a whole, this will be known as the Shops at Westlake Landing. We do have monument signs for the different uses. So you'll have one monument sign that will serve the parcel B, and then we have 3 monument signs, one for each of the buildings that serve parcel C, which will be individual to Starbucks, Taco Bell, and KFC. But nothing out on Seminole Pratt. We want a nice clean look. And of course, we have a lot of landscaping out there, but that's why having a little bit of that brand identity is helpful. Not too much, but just about the right amount.
Thank you.
Thank you. My follow-up question would be, is signage, ground signage, part of a separate site plan application, and the city normally handles signage
Master sign.
separately? Okay,
It's
thank you.
part of the master sign plan.
Okay.
And for the record, Donaldson hearing, the ground signs that are for parcel H, which they have already been approved through a master signage plan application. So those have already been approved. Any of the signs on the building or any menu boards, all of that still has to come back. But the ground signs that are interior, which are relatively small monument signs, which you saw several months ago, have already been approved.
City Clerk, we have any other public?
May I receive no additional comment cards? We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. If you've been muted, please press *6. Mayor, we have no comments.
Thank you. Council,
If we could go back to that site plan that shows the 3 pods, I just have a couple of real quick questions. Perfect, right there. 2 quick things. One, what are these areas?
dumpsters.
Downstairs.
Those are all dumpsters. They're amply sized for cardboard recycling and all the needs of a facility.
I can see they look like they're screened.
They're very, very well screened, and the landscaping plans that we've developed for this parcel is, very robust. It's in keeping with what you typically see that we do. We've got a nice streetscape program that will go along the north-south road and the east-west road. In fact, the east-west road is lined with date palms. Got a really nice palette of plants in there that will be complementary, and all the dumpster areas are screened on the outside with trees and palms and shrubs, comparable to what you would see at the 7-Eleven, the way we treated it there.
Fantastic. And then finally, and I'm sure it's there, I just don't know exactly where, if you point out, bicycle racks, bicycle parking.
We have bicycle racks for each building. I believe 5 stalls are required per building. I think we exceed that requirement. They're in convenient locations, close to the walkways and close to the entrances. I can't see exactly where they are, but they're in a very, very convenient location.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Yeah. We have a motion.
Make a motion, we move forward with approving 2021-7.
I'll second the motion.
Motion to approve SPR 2021-07 by Councilwoman Long Robinson, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I know one particular developer out here who probably when he didn't say his name, but it's Mr. Carter. He's going to be excited about the Starbucks opening. I'm sure he's been jonesing for a while about this one. So we'll move on to item E, SPR 2021-09.
All those who are going to testify during the course of this presentation, this application, please stand, be sworn, do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? I do. Please proceed.
Good evening, Osniel Leon with the City of Westlake. Next item on the agenda is Adrenaline World at Westlake Landings, site plan review, SPR 2021-09. The applicant is requesting approval of a site plan review of a 92,773 square feet of indoor and outdoor recreation facility, a 567 square feet of maintenance shed, and a 576 square feet of restroom areas and outdoor amenities. The subject site is located within Part H and Parcel F, a total gross site area of 14.4 acres. It has a future land use designation of downtown mixed use and a zoning district of mixed use. Again, Parcel F is part of the Pod H Westlake Landings, approximately 50.8 acres of commercial plaza. The proposed site plan includes a one-story building of 92,773 square feet, a maintenance shed, 564 square feet, and 576 square feet of restrooms and changing rooms, for a total of 93,913 square feet. The indoor recreational building will include arcade games, virtual reality games, various themed climbing structures, a trampoline park, laser tag arenas, a miniature golf. The miniature golf venue will be space themed, and it will include 9 holes with the building and 9 holes outside connected via doorway portal to be known as the Vortex. The outdoor recreation area will include the longest go-kart track in Florida, small child driving track, dinosaur park, outdoor play area, suspension nets, ropes, zip lines, splash pad, float climb, and outdoor restrooms and benches. The proposed site plan is in compliance with all applicable zoning codes in the mixed-use zoning district and is providing a total of 267 parking spaces. The subject site has 2 access points, one through Persimmon Boulevard and one through Pratt Whitney Road. All entrances are gated by a 6-foot picket fence and will remain locked after hours. Aesthetics of the primary building were carefully considered. The proposed development will continue with the design aesthetic goals and the visions of the City of Westlake, while incorporating the yellow accent branding of the company, which you can see in the next slide, the architectural elevations, which includes the yellow color scheme. The outdoor entertainment venue, again, includes the 576 square feet of restroom changing rooms for use of the splash pad and other amenities. It will also be accessible and is compliant with the current city standards. The application has been reviewed with landscape, drainage, fire safety, and traffic. Planning and Zoning and Engineering Department recommends approval of the subject application. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Mr. Mayor, council member, for the record, Donaldson Hearing here tonight on behalf of the applicant. I would like to introduce Mr. Johan Creek, who is a principal of Adrenaline World and is here and very, very excited to see this project move forward this evening. Just as you could tell from the presentation that Niels's office made, this is about family fun, excitement, but to an extreme that your adrenaline pumps. So that's what this is about, and it's a really, really exciting. You know, these types of venues are missing, and it's totally family oriented and from all ages. So there is stuff for the little kids to the adults, opportunities for parties, special events, team building events, business events, just an opportunity for everybody to come together. So it's extremely excited. We have our entertainment designer is Playmart, and I believe they're out of the UK. Is that correct, Johan? They're global firm, but and also in the UK, and they've really done a very, very exciting job. And I'll walk you through some of the elements. We know where the site is in Pod H, so it's 14.43 acres in size. As pointed out, the building itself is about 94,000 square feet. So we've got a lot of indoor opportunity, but then there's a lot of outdoor. We do get rain once in a while in Florida, so there's an opportunity to have both opportunities. Points of access exist on the interior, what we refer to the Pod H north-south road, as well as an access point out onto Persimmon Boulevard, as you see. So the various uses, I've tried to highlight them on the site. I'll first start with the go-kart. So these are electric vehicle go-karts. So these, you know, if you've been in a Tesla before, you press down the gas, these things go. So really, really exciting. Longest track in Florida. In addition to the track for us big kids, because I'm going to go do it. For us big kids, they have karts for juniors, for younger kids, and then even a training cart for the very, very little, a training track for the very, very little kids, where they require additional supervision. We have a great observation deck, which again could be utilized for some of the party events, but also the opportunity to grab something from the food service venue and for the parents to go up and watch their kids go out and just have a ball. So a lot of different, there's a zip line, and you know, this is a pretty long zip line. So these are really, really fun venues. But then we have some things for the younger kids, like our splash pad and our disc coaster, and then miniature golf, which can be done by all family members. We have restrooms, as Nielsa pointed out, that are located central, changing rooms. So again, a child is out there playing, there's an opportunity for them to change their clothes, you know, into something that's dry after they've gotten wet. This is a visual of the building. So you can see the architecture ties together, same colors. In this case, the corporate color is kind of a burnt yellow, but the grays continue to be dominant throughout all of the parcel. Everything is very, very well landscaped, just a very, very nice architectural design. A couple different views from different venues. Here in the foreground, you see the splash pad, and then off in the distance, you see the junior go-kart area. So the splash pad will be really a lot of fun. So this will really, it could be for all ages, but you know, what a great opportunity to, you know, for all the kids to come have fun and play. A couple of other different views that you can see. Another, the building. Here's the dinosaur park. And again, just something to have fun. I know in speaking with Johan, and certainly he could probably go talk to you more, there's also an educational component. So the dinosaurs will be part of the educational component, as well as the space theming on the interior of the building, along with the mini golf. So the idea to teach our children different things about space and the galaxy and the benefit of our planet. So Johan certainly far better versed on those activities, some more views of the golf cart area, some other overviews. And of course, this view lets you really see that cart and the golf cart, the go-kart track, and you can see it's up and it's down and it's over and it's around a hairpin. Yeah, it's certainly extremely exciting, not just your traditional carts. So with that, I will indicate that we do have 15 golf cart stallers. JP, I'm prepared. And we have two EV chargers, each with 2 charging positions, a total of 4 EV charging positions for the overall site. So really excited to bring forth the sustainability, the education, and the adrenaline. Certainly something family fun. And it'll attract people from other areas because I don't know where else you go in Florida to have that type of an experience. So I'll conclude my presentation. Johan is here. He's certainly able to answer any more specific questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Herring. So we'll open it up to the public for any public questions, comments.
Mayor, there's a comment card from Irani Pereira. Please state your name and address, ma'am.
Irani Pereira, 16111 Whippoorwill Circle. We're very excited the opportunity. One thing of concern is that hopefully, like you say, we're gonna have a high traffic of people from different areas. It'll be security. How the security is gonna be provided for the amenity. So that's my question.
Yeah, good question. So first of all, and it will be very, very secure. So first of all, no one from the street will be able to just walk in and go into the facility. Before you even go, you have to have a reservation. You pick a specific time slot, and you have to do that online before you even show up. And then when you get there, you're registered. They don't exchange any money. Everything's done, so that it's cashless. They'll provide fobs or cards for the various users, so in case they needed to get something to eat, or to use some of perhaps the enhanced venues that might have a different upcharge on them. All that will be done electronically. The entire facility will be secure, so nobody in, nobody out without going through the checkout. And then also the different age groups are clearly segregated. While there's some crossover, very careful attention in the site design has been given to the little kids, the big kids, and the really big kids, and the teenagers. So it all will be very well coordinated. So you have to have a reservation and a specific time slot in which that reservation is good for. So you just don't show up. That way we manage to have the proper customer experience. We want to manage the number of people that are there. We don't want people waiting in lines, like you do at Disney World. We want to know how the facility is going to be used. And so it's all managed that way. Johan certainly could talk at much greater and much more articulated length than I can.
Irani Pereira again. Just to clarify, so will the security be provided by the company? It's not going to rely on the police department?
Yeah, all the security would be provided by Adrenaline World. If perhaps they would have a large event or a special event, they would utilize, they could certainly hire the sheriff's office off duty, but they would not be relying on the normal patrol for anything other than what the police currently provide. So this will be self-secured.
Hours of operation yet? Like how late will they be?
Hours of operation are timed to be consistent with the city's noise ordinance, so that in terms of opening and closing, this is a family focus. So it'll be open a little later, obviously Friday and Saturday, Well, during the weekday, it's going to be closed early. So we're mirroring the hours within your noise ordinance.
If I may, Don. Do you know if there are plans for annual passes?
That I don't know. If there is one, I want to get one to the go-kart track. But I would imagine there would be different types of things. Johan, do you have? Yes. You have to come to the mic and. State your name.
Sir, have you been sworn?
No, I have not, sir.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Johan Creek, and I pardon my accent. I was born in South Africa, so if you don't understand me, I'll try my very best American Southern accent. But yes, just a couple of things. Thank you very much, Don, for a great rendition of what we are doing. As you know, kids and everybody is so into their phones and technology and stuff. This will be a very highly infused technology facility. So everybody that wants to come to this facility will go online with their parents, and the parents would have to sign waivers online. We'll book it in 2-hour slots, and it'll be completely controlled. So once a kid has signed a waiver and paid their fee, they will get a smartwatch for this, just for argument's sake, when they come to the facility. So they book their go-karts in the specific time slot during that 2-hour period that they want to come and visit. Now, on the property, there will be certain stations that you can actually upcharge, and you can say, well, I want to go for another ride. Well, it just they hit their little iPad, and boom, there goes the money back into the watch. So we also work with the technology companies, so many of them, and we are really vetting them out right now, who's the best. But it's an incredible integrated system for security. All of the watches that the kids will get will be geolocators built into them. So if mom is sitting at the bar having a martini and dad's on a go-kart, she can see where little Johnny and little Sarah is on the whole platform. So we're really trying to use technology as much as we can, video and everything. We'll be probably employing around 200 plus people to work there. To talk about the time, obviously we would like to, during the weekday, we will open after school hours are open. So it'll be probably 3 to 10, something like that during weekdays. Weekends and holidays will be open from 9 to 11.
Now, on one of the plans, I saw a rooftop restaurant or some kind of a restaurant.
The mezzanine floor inside of the main building is 30 feet above ground. So that's a mezzanine level that have one area that is for the food, and it's basically a food court, sort of like a mall. So you can buy pizza, you can buy all kinds of things. We want to be very, very healthy as well, so there will be pizza and hamburgers as well. But it'll be a great restaurant. In fact, we are working right now as we speak with some people from New York that want to be doing our food and beverage sets. By the way, our food and beverage is incredibly tech as well. So you'll be able to buy a drink and your food with your watch, and the drink can be dispensed without a bartender, and it'll be paid for and served in 12 seconds. So these are all the things that we've corralled around the world from all my world's travels. I've found some pretty nifty people, much smarter than me. I just was a dumb tennis player.
In terms of the mini golf, the interior and exterior, are those two separate courses, or is it one course that incorporates both the inside and the outside?
It's one course that incorporates both, and it's kind of crazy. So the first 9 basically is all lit up in terms of it's dark, but everything lights up, and then poof, you go through the vortex and get spit out with fire and whatever, not fire, but some hot air, so to speak. Like you're now on Mars, and that's and then you play 9 holes on Mars, and every hole has got some written things and stuff that the kids will learn.
I'm so excited about this. Yeah. Finally, you mentioned a martini, so there will be a bar, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, because parents need a place to drink.
Beautiful.
Pardon me? Oh, we're going to have so many TVs. I hope that we find enough Best Buys to get them from. So there will be a lot of technology built in. A lot of fun activities. So, we want to have, you can have an 8-month-old baby in the splash pool to an 80-year-old man doing a zip lining, So we're for the whole family, and we're really, really excited to be here. I've lived here in Palm Beach Gardens now for 4 years and met Don and a wonderful group of people here that are helping us put this very exciting thing together. So we're very fortunate to be here in this part of the world. And this is home now, not moving.
Thank you.
Oh, well, I do have something to say while I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay. I kind of just switching.
Sure.
a little bit, I wanted to commend you. I think when people are coming into a community, your team did a phenomenal job with community engagement. I think seeing it on social media and engaging Westlake for the buy-in of what you're doing was phenomenal. I also think you finding the investment or the value of coming to the Western community, right? If you think about it, you have boomers on the south end, so you don't have anything here in the
Right.
Western community for the surrounding area to go, as well as our schools, you know, to have a component for education. It filters in field trip opportunities as well. So I do want to commend you for having the wherewithal and the foresight to plan here in Westlake, and then, as I said, engage community. I think that was very wise of you. And to see the excitement on social media, I saw it on LinkedIn and Facebook, you know, to see that, that's encouraging. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, we'll be very engaged with the schools and obviously Kaiser University, all the FAU, all these universities. We want to have mentorships and we want to have apprenticeships and stuff like that happening throughout the year. So we'll be very involved with all the schools.
My question is this. When am I going to be able to go and run the golf carts?
We're going to try and build this sucker as fast as we can. And, you know, so I would hope that we would be in the spring of 23 open for business. And, you know, we're working on some other things with Don and the group. So we're very excited and we can't wait to start. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation.
Mayor, we have a public comment. City Attorney, I believe this individual needs to be sworn in. Ms. Alicia Torres.
No.
Hi. Do I need to be sworn in to ask questions?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And yes, everybody is so excited. Everyone, you know, is waiting on pins and needles for this to get built. I just had two questions. One was a follow-up to the security question. If hypothetically there were to be, say, some troublemakers that kept showing up and again, are you guys planning some kind of process to, you know, I really have no idea how that would work, you know, I don't even know how to say it, but to keep, you know, to keep the riffraff away, you know, to keep the space safe and friendly for everybody. My second question was, I just had, I would like to see the entrance points, the two entrance points. It looked like both entrances, there would be a U-turn that would need to be made from one direction. So I just wondered if that was the case or if there is easy turning from both directions into each of the entrances.
For the record, Donaldson hearing, Zoe, if you'll go back to the site plan and I can just walk through that real briefly with the way that we see the circulation working. So, and while she's doing that, let me first address the security. So absolutely. I mean, in order to create a safe, fun environment, there will need to be proper protocols, just like you would have at Disney World or anywhere else. You know, if somebody is unruly, they'll be signing part of the waiver that they have to sign. Will say if they misbehave that they have that they'll be escorted off the site and they'll leave immediately. So, we'll want to maintain a very safe, fun, family-oriented environment. So that's a given, and that's critical.
Just our concerns because we are walking in communities. They could be and walk riding in our. So.
Right. Well, and that's why the whole facility will be fenced, and you can't come in unless you've already paid for a ticket. So if you haven't purchased something online, you're not even walking in the front door. So that's some way to control it up front. And of course, they'll have other security measures. As far as the points of ingress and egress. So depending on how different functions occur, for the most part, the majority of all access will come right through the main access point in the building, which is in the center of the building on the north side. The from Persimmon, you'll make a left into that north-south road, and then you'll make another left, or then you'll make a right. And we're basically trying to keep one-way circulation, the way that we see it being managed, so that you'll drive all the way down. If you want to drop off your child or your elderly one, you could do that and circulate back around. And then you have the opportunity also to exit out onto to Persimmon at the north side. And what that does, that is a right in, right out condition, because there's a median in Persimmon at that location. So you cannot take a left turn to go to the north. So, we see being able to manage the flow of circulation more in a one-way route is going to be very much so advantageous for just, again, where kids are walking. There's for various functions, there will be the opportunity to have access on the east side of the site, but for the most part, that parking lot will be utilized for more of our employees, and the public access will come through the building. It's possible, but again, that would be a controlled access point if that occurred. So very careful about access. You can't, there's no access on any other boundary to be able to get into the facility.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, I have no additional comments. We'll give the virtual audience another moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please unmute your device, state your name and address. If you've been muted, please press *6. Mayor, we have no comments.
Hey, do we have any other questions from the council?
Mr. Creed, I'm sorry, did we get an answer on the annual pass question?
Not yet.
Is that something that might be developed at some point? Okay, thank you.
I have one question for clarification. In some of the descriptions, this is one story, but it is a 61-foot high building. It's multiple levels interior, but it's one large building.
Yeah, it's a large, it has a mezzanine, so it doesn't have a full second floor. It just has a mezzanine over a portion.
Right. I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes you say one story, people think of a low level building versus a 61-foot building. I just want to make sure that it's clarified for the record.
Thank you. No other questions or comments?
I will gladly make a motion to adopt SPR 2021-09, adrenaline.
Second motion?
Motion to adopt SPR 2021-09 by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call, Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Absolutely.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. I can't wait for the golf carts.
Go-karts. I can't wait for
Golf carts, go-karts, any kind of cart. Okay, we'll close the quasi judicial public hearing at this point and move on to our public hearing. We have ordinances. First one is our first reading on the ordinance 2021-11 mobile food trucks.
Mr. Mayor, I think based on the conversation and discussion of the council at the last meeting, this matter would be respectfully requested to be tabled until a future meeting to allow us to make the revisions that the LPA made, or you made as the sitting as the LPA.
Okay. So we have to have a motion to table it.
Yes, sir.
Motion to table.
Second motion?
We have a motion to table ordinance 2021-11 by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call, Councilwoman Crum. Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Just to clarify, as council recalls, we had an LPA meeting at the November 8th meeting. So there was a further discussion with regard to food trucks. The LPA board provided several comments. So, and that LPA recommended that this was the first reading were moved to the December council meeting. So currently I'm working on those comments. So when the council sees it for the December council meeting, those comments will be part of the proposed ordinance.
Very good. Thank you for the clarification. Okay, we'll move on to the second reading of ordinance 2021-12.
Ordinance by title only. Ordinance of the City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, amending Chapter 24 of the city's Code of Ordinances entitled Art in Public Places, providing for definitions, providing for exemption for residential development, temporary structures, providing for the appointment by City Council to the Public Places Advisory Board, providing for the repair or replacement for damaged or destroyed artwork, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Do you have any presentation on this? We did go over it
Second readings.
before, so it's a second reading. It is open for public comment. So if we have any public comment,
Mayor, we received no previous public comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please state your name and address. Mayor, we have no comments.
thank you. Any comment, questions from the council?
If I recall, we made some changes, should to shall and
Yeah.
certain things, as long as all those were reflected properly, then I'm 100% on board. Love it.
Is that a motion?
I'll
It's your
make,
thing.
I'll make the motion to adopt ordinance 2021-12.
Second the motion.
Thank you so much, council. Thank you.
Motion by Councilwoman Long Robinson to approve ordinance 2021-12, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call, Vice Mayor Connor,
Yes.
Mayor Manning,
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone. That closes our public hearing portion, and we'll move on to new business. Mr. Castle?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is another one of your subordination agreements that needs to be approved by the council. It's a refinance, and they're part of the HAPPY program, and it's recommended for approval.
Motion. Questions? Questions?
This has to do with the refinancing the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the HAPPY program.
Yep.
Because of subordination agreement needs to be reissued because the terms are changing a little bit, so we need to bring it back to y'all for approval.
Understood. I'll make the motion to adopt the new subordination agreements between two individuals, Morales and Jimenez.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call, Vice Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Mayor Manning,
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then we'll move on to item B, discussion and action, city council vacancy group 1. Mr. Castle?
Yes, I will refer you back to Mr. Duty's memo a couple weeks ago regarding the fact that it is the council's interpretation on how to fill that and how to interpret the charter. At this point, it would be appropriate to request those that might be interested to put in a resume or an application as well. And then at your December meeting, which is the time frame at which we would have to appoint somebody to that seat, for you all to appoint a individual to fill the unfilled term of Councilman Paul.
Okay.
And DJ can answer any further questions on it.
You're required by your charter to make an appointment. And given the fact that the term exceeds 2 years and 81 days, your appointment would normally go to the next regularly scheduled city election. However, you don't have the time to open up for qualifications to meet your March election. So respectfully, I've proposed that you interpret your charters when you consider your appointment, that the next regularly scheduled election would be in 2024, not 2022. Because you can't, if you made an appointment in December, they can't qualify for the 2022 election. So you would make that appointment to fill the unexpired term of Patrick Paul, which would have been March 2024.
We have people that put in their resumes at this point.
No, this is the
No.
meeting where we discuss that.
This is a meeting where we would discuss opening it and when you would want them in. And also, we need an affirmative vote by the council to interpret the charter to state that this would be fulfilling the position until the 2024 election.
So we just need.
So I mean, I have some very strong feelings about this. I think it's very clear that the charter should be interpreted as recommended. It states we have to fill the seat at the very next election, but it's this election for that seat number, which wouldn't be until 2024. I can't imagine appointing somebody to serve out 4 months and then a regular election, and then it's going to throw off our entire election cycle. Right now, we have 2 seats that open up one cycle, and then the next cycle, there's 3 seats. If we interpreted it any other way that I'm recommending, we're going to have 1 seat opening up and then 4 seats. So we really do need to interpret it as appointing somebody to fill out the remainder of his term, which would be until 2024. I think that's the first point we need to clarify.
Okay.
And that is what's recommended.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, we shouldn't be, I don't think that we should be filling 4 seats at one
Right.
time.
That's what I'm saying.
That really offsets the whole council, and you don't have that continuity going through with
Right.
someone who's experienced moving on in the council, so.
It's not in spirit with how the charter was actually
Right.
written.
So it should be 3 and 2.
Does that require a motion?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Respectfully, I would ask for a motion to interpret the charter accordingly. That's consistent with Florida law.
I will make the motion to interpret the charter as filling the appointment for the remainder of that seat's term.
And the next regularly scheduled election being
Being
2024.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call, Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, second issue. Second issue is how are we going to fill that seat? I know Mr. Castle recommended opening up resumes, and if legally we have to do so, so be it. But I really have more strong feelings about how we should do this. And it comes in terms of the fact that we just happen to be in the middle of an election. Kara's seat has 3 absolutely wonderfully qualified candidates running for that seat. One of them is a firefighter, dedicated his life to public service. The other is a nurse, also dedicated her entire life to healing people. Mr. Castoya, very astute architect, obviously knows his stuff. These 3 individuals stepped up to the plate, went through the entire qualifying process in a deadline, just for the mere opportunity to possibly sit in one of these seats. And just for fun, I want to show you guys. This is the candidate packet to qualify. It is no easy task. This thing's like, also, this isn't a shot. I'm the only one up here who's had to do this. twice. So if it's legal, I think we have our pool of candidates to choose from as an appointment. Three wonderful candidates, and we can all review their resumes for the next meeting. I read all of their information on the internet and on the town crier. You know, I couldn't be happier if we choose from them. I think they went through the work, they stepped up to the plate. They've proven themselves. They've already qualified as candidates, which means they submitted their financials and so on and so forth. It's an easy decision.
Well, I'm really happy to see that we have that pool to choose from that are.
And the other seat's unopposed.
Right.
So,
And of course, you're gonna be the mayor.
and I'll be in the hot seat.
Yeah.
You're gonna move over.
No, I agree. I think that, as Vice Mayor has said, they've shown initiative, and so if we already have a pool of people, if we could look at the resumes and,
As long as they're willing
and,
to
and,
receive
yeah,
an
if they're
appointment.
willing, yeah. So I
We're gonna bring this, we make a decision at the December 6th.
December 6th meeting, correct.
Does it make sense for us to, it's an appointment's open to anyone, actually.
Agreed.
So we already know we have three people that are qualified. If there's anyone else that wants to throw their name in the hat, provide the resume and so on. Are you opposed to that?
I'm not opposed. I'm absolutely not opposed to
Okay.
anything, but I think that these three individuals should absolutely be commended.
Oh, yeah.
To the steps, doing it on time, showing the initiative. And as somebody who's been through it twice, it's not easy. It's a
No,
lot.
it's not.
And it involves opening up campaign accounts and profits and EIN numbers. And there's a lot to it. It's not an easy thing.
Mayor, and I'm not opposed,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed, but I would rather us stick to that three, opposed to trying to open it up, because we've been there before with opening things up and then it just, so I think, just piggybacking on what Vice Mayor said, because they have taken the initiative to go ahead and file and say, I'm willing and wanting to serve, that we go ahead, because just think, we'll have an Art in Public Places Board. That's a way for people to serve. We have our Educational Advisory Board. So I think identifying out of that pool, that three, may be a little more, wiser. However, I'm open for discussion on it, but
I don't know the legality.
yeah, what is?
There's no set procedure. That's why you're discussing it. Why I haven't made a recommendation. You certainly can consider just the three candidates, or you can advertise and select or request resumes and make a selection of December 6th. The procedure is left to you. It's to your discretion. And all I would suggest, obviously, you're going to make your decision in public and you're going to vote on it.
Here?
I think we should stick with just the three.
Any other discussion?
So could I ask you someone to propose a motion that at December 6th, they replace or a candidate will be selected to fill the unexpired term with Patrick Paul. And the pool will be the three candidates who have qualified for city council.
I will gladly make the motion that we should fill the remainder of Patrick Paul's term in 2024 with choosing from the three candidates that have currently qualified for seat 4 for the city council election for this year. Seat 2, I'm sorry.
C2.
And perhaps Zoe, you can reach out to all of them, have them get us detailed resumes.
Yes, we'll do.
Second?
Now it'd be on December 6th.
on December 6th, we would make that appointment.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor O'Connor, seconded by Councilwoman Crum. Roll call. Councilwoman Long Robinson.
Yes?
Councilwoman Crum.
Yes.
Vice Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Mayor Manning.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, now your next step of business, would you respectfully request how long you want to give each candidate to make a presentation? So they are pre-warned, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you make your selection. Because you want to have
Yeah,
a certain
you wanna have
time.
something. Sure,
Right.
absolutely.
Person A may speak for 30 minutes and person B may speak for 5. You,
Have we limit presentations to 10 minutes?
That would take only 30 minutes.
I mean,
of
we're
their
gonna
time.
have resumes.
Yeah, well, we provided resumes prior to the meeting so that we have time to review before the actual December 6th meeting.
It's certainly not gonna be an easy decision, that's for sure.
I
No,
would set it as a maximum of 10 minutes. They may speak for 3 to 5 and cover what they need to cover.
let's make it 15 minutes. Maximum of 15 minutes presentation.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Works for me.
All right with the council? We have to have a motion on that?
no, sir, you just
Okay.
consensus. So we can set up the agenda
Right.
and the candidates can understand. Now, is that going to be just them or are you going to allow yourselves 15 minutes per candidate? That's question and answers, or how you going to do that?
Well, if they.
I've been through this before, so you see.
Okay,
It gets
so
on the
what should
wild.
we do?
Well, no, whatever you want to do, just so you all have an understanding going into the meeting and the candidates do as well.
Well, I guess if we give them 15 minutes to make their presentation. And if we allowed ourselves, I think that we'd be able to do our questions in as little as probably 5 to 10 minutes after that. So I think we're going to allow 25 minutes, I guess, in all.
For each candidate.
Yes.
Okay.
It's an important decision. We shouldn't
Well,
cut
that's
our
what I'm
time
saying.
down
Right.
just to have a time limit.
I mean, should we, don't hate me for even suggesting this, but should we schedule a workshop alone just for this? Because you're talking about an hour and a half on just candidate questions.
A workshop, you can't take a vote.
Or should we schedule a special meeting strictly for this purpose? Because you are talking about an hour and a half of questions and answers.
Well, what's our agenda look like for December, Mr. Castle?
I don't think it's that full. Zoe, it's not that full, is it?
No, it's not.
It's very light.
It's like-
I think we can handle it at the meeting. My bedtime's not until 1 o'clock in the morning, so we're good.
Mine is
Yeah, but-
8:30.
Yeah, but our attorney gets a little cranky after certain hours,
We'll get an Uber.
along with the manager.
We'll get an Uber for that. Okay, is that good? All right, Zoe, you got that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. City council comments. Start with Councilwoman Molly Robinson.
Yes, I'm gonna take a few minutes. I'm gonna try not to be too long because I know Thanksgiving is on everyone's mind. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for supporting unanimously the art and public places. The contribution it makes to the community is immeasurable. And so to be able to highlight the diversity and richness of Westlake, especially as we see it grow, I really appreciate each of you for supporting that unanimously. This evening, and we had to reschedule, but I told the city manager that I wanted to kind of talk to you about what I took to him, a project and something that he really just took the ball and ran with it. As each of you know, I am participating in Leadership Florida now. And what happened is we kind of look at data just throughout the state, as well as what's happening in our individual counties. And so as Mr. Duval presented at the last meeting, he identified and talked about how we're having issues with employment and retaining Gen Z and millennials. And so I went to Mr. Castle and said, hey, we have an opportunity here in Westlake to really create a legacy, not only for the county, but for the city, but the county as well as the state. And so kind of meeting with Mr. Castle, we kind of came up with creating and planning a design tool for students to be successful. We have the students at Seminole Ridge High School, who there is the Construction Academy, of course, and we have the middle school that is not zoned. That's another conversation, but it's not zoned for Westlake, but Westlake, And then we have our elementary schools. And so we wanted to make sure we were able to truly task our educational advisory board with something that they would be able to take hold of and create. And kind of what it's not called this, but it's kind of a do now, build toward approach, what we have. And so we were able to meet with Dr. Kaplan, who does not serve on the educational advisory board, but she is my Leadership Palm Beach County classmate. And she came up to me in an event and she said, I live in your city and I want to volunteer. Dr. Kaplan is the previous Dean of Bachelor Programs for Palm Beach State College. And she has been able to sit with Mr. Castle and I to work with Seminole Ridge High School, as well as start working with our business community to how do we bridge this gap so that our students can have, like Adrenaline World said, the apprenticeships and the opportunity. And so one thing that we know that this will contribute to in the county, in the city, is young people and people will be able to attain home housing, right? Attain to be able to work. We realized that in the beginning, I kind of was one-sided until Ken and I met. And I was looking at it from the standpoint, all students are not going to college at this point, and that's okay. However, when Ken and I kind of just flushed it out, he was like, well, you know what? We need to create something for students who want to go on and get those 4-year degrees. And so Ken, as well as Dr. Calvin, my time in Westlake is coming very close, very, very close. So to the individuals who, Mr. Greg there, who is will be in my seat unopposed, as well as the others, whomever may have a privilege and honor to serve with the mayor, I would hope that this is something that you will be able to kind of take the ground and really run with it so that we can truly, truly be set apart here in Palm Beach County with this program. No other municipality has this program. So we would be the very first to pilot something like this in the county. And I think that if it's done right, it will be something that the state can look at, and we be a model for it. So that is something that Mr. Castle and I have been working on. I'm sure he will give a presentation at some point, but we know that this is a way to engage our community, our businesses, our schools, just to make a better Westlake, of course, and a better Palm Beach County. And so that was that. Mr. Castle, I know we have the townhomes coming. Is it possible that we could have, again, Adrenaline World did such a fantastic job with engaging community. Is it possible that we could have our PR team kind of engage, just not Westlake, but the county overall, to say that we have, one, the Happy program. If we notice in our notes, we did well with the Happy program with the funds that's in there. But if we could kind of open that up so that we could have some true PR done with that from the consulting team. And last but not least, I think it is something to be able to run unopposed. I must say that you don't find that often, especially where we are in politics now. It gets grimy, it gets ugly, but I'm grateful that we have a dais or a council that really truly wants to do what is best for people, right? We may stand on separate aisles, but to be able to come together and really work together to do what is right I'm excited about that, and I'm excited for you, Mayor. You know, I wanted to publicly say that I am jealous that you get to run unopposed. Who does that? But it just goes to, exactly, it just goes to show that your commitment to people and community, people appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so congratulations, my friend, and I know you will do well, being mayor of Westlake, and I'm here to support you, when I'm long gone, but I will always support your efforts in Westlake. And that is all for tonight.
Thank you.
I also wanted to congratulate our future mayor, JP, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. On to the Vice Mayor himself for now, soon to be. In this seat.
Just really want to thank all my colleagues for their leadership. We are growing and we are growing fast. And it is incredible these last few meetings, what's been brought before us and the progress. And it's just something else. And I'm truly honored to be a part of it. I do have some exciting news that you, in particular, Mr. Mayor, will be very excited about. Several meetings ago, several months ago, tasked me with working with the developer to establish a plan for City Hall.
Right.
And I was very sad when our last meeting got cut short because I was very much wanting to talk about it. The preliminary plan is that we will have a state-of-the-art, you know, as Westlake is as an innovative city, so should be our City Hall. We will have a state-of-the-art City Hall that will serve multiple purposes. It will not cost a penny to taxpayers. The plan is to place it in our 75-acre park, paid for by the upcoming soccer school, which the ink on that deal is not completely dry yet, but I buried the lead. In the event that falls through, and in the next few meetings, the developer, the landowner, has agreed to convey that parcel of land to the city, not part of the park, the original parcel, N2 that was in the original plans.
3.1 acres. Yeah.
Correct. He's willing to commit to a firm date that we can set. We set the date. If the deal with the park does not go through, that land is ours to do what we want. We'll have to figure out how to pay for the City Hall, but he's willing to give us the land, which is huge because if you see what this land is going for, it's a lot. So I'm very pleased to be able to discuss that and say that your dream of a City Hall for Westlake will, one way or another, will come to fruition.
Thank you very much for your efforts. I know that you and Mr. Castle worked on it, and I appreciate you bringing that news.
Yeah.
It's definitely good news. I'd like to see it for the $0. It would be that'd be great. But nonetheless, if it happens the other way, that's okay too, because
it looks like we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
For the $0.
Well, again, you picked up the ball and ran with it. So I commend you and thank you very much for your efforts there.
So that's something we need to talk about in the future, next meeting or so, is we'll set that firm date.
Great.
So that we have a plan B.
You know, I haven't had this big a smile on my face for as long as it's been on my face with what's going on here since we started this, Kara and Katrina back June 27th, 2016. I'm kind of worn with a smile tonight, and boy, it's nice. So I want to thank everybody for your efforts. It's really coming together. We would have never imagined, I don't think, that we were going to be this far ahead this quickly. I know that Mr. Castle would say the same thing. just incredible. Congratulations,
Sir?
and a happy birthday again. And I'm done with my comments too. So, staff reports.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have Chief Oliveira is here. He's the new district fire chief for our region. Want to say a few words?
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm your new district chief. I've been with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue for 20 years. I've worked out in the area for most of my career, mostly in the Royal Palm Beach area, but covering a lot of this area as well. Last couple of years, I spent up in the North End and Jupiter area as a battalion chief. It's exciting to be out here as your district chief. I'm here to work with you guys with whatever you need as far as fire rescue is concerned. Our beautiful station out here, Station 22, spectacular facility. I know you guys helped out with a lot of that stuff, so we really appreciate it. If you ever need anything, please reach out and let me know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. City Attorney.
I wish you all a very, very happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Castle.
Short this evening, just a couple things. As you all have noticed, probably the FPU tank farm with the trucks is gone. Their depressurization station is in. It's temporarily secured. They're in the process of getting ready to build the perimeter walls and stuff like that. So that's good. The 4th of July, I have to get a meeting with the vice mayor and the PR firm. We already have a number of items kind of set up of what we think we're going to be going. Have already discussed utilization of the infield area to the west of the Benny Center as a staging area and stuff. The fireworks will be shot off from west side of Seminole Pratt. We've already got that staged. I had discussions with PBSO and with fire and coordinating them. So we're continuing to plan on that, and it's going to be pretty interesting. We also have secured the services of get his name all of a sudden. Alexander Starr will be doing a 3-hour entertainment option for us. So it's going to be a pretty big show, pretty big operation, and we're looking forward to it. The other thing is just as an update, Christ Fellowship broke ground this week, moving dirt. My understanding is when they get ready to go vertical with the building, they'll be coordinating a grand ribbon cutting, shovel turning type thing. So but those things that are going, and yes, we're growing. Related to the mayor earlier, this time last year, I went out of town for Thanksgiving. When I came back, there were 5 houses going vertical in the groves. 1 year later, we have the groves, and it's almost built out. It's pretty amazing as to how fast not only Minto is growing, but Harry's going with his, and Crestwind is taking off like crazy. So I'm thrilled that we've got everybody here, and I can't wait for the townhomes and the commercial to be here. It's going to be fun.
I have one other little comment. I'm jealous. I'll tell you why. Because we got to come in and do the groundwork, the fun part of it starting now. I think for me, that's because of the smile.
I'll invite you back. You
I
can
mean-
come out, hang out.
But no, when these kind of things, the restaurants come in and town center, they get going, and there's at least there's some public activity in the way. I am jealous. So just so you know. Okay.
We'll make sure you're invited back all the time.
Oh, thanks.
City Hall ribbon cutting.
I'll be glad to join you. Okay, we have any public comments?
I received no previous comment cards. We'll give the virtual audience a moment to raise their virtual hand. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your virtual hand or unmute your device, state your name and address. Mayor, I see no comments.
Thank you. So with that, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. And thank all the candidates for filing, to make a commitment to the city. It's a job that's very rewarding. You'll enjoy it, whoever ends up with the seats. So, and again, congratulations to the mayor and Mr. Greg. All righty, with that, we'll adjourn at 8:41 PM.